welcome back to Nether Trey's Resonant Rise 3 Let's Play. It is a modified pack, as I always tell you, and I've been doing some fancy, again. So I did switch out these blocks with these corp blocks down along the path here. I also did the entryway to the enchanting room. I also got this area ready for a big reactor. I also moved these machines around just to make a little bit more space for some more machines, because some of these machines don't need power. The QED doesn't need actual like RF power. I moved the water tank up so it wasn't taking up a slot for a machine. I moved everything over because we're going to want 2 more Ender IO machines. I'm going to make a painting machine and a slice and splice because we're going to need those for some of the things we're going to get digging into. I do want to get the Ender Quarry going, but I realized that in order to really take full advantage of the Ender Quarry, we're going to need 2 more things. We're going to need more power, and we're going to need lots of storage. So I am going to get into working on those 2 things this episode. We'll probably set up the Ender Quarry next episode. I also made a door factory from the Malisis doors mod, which is right here. It's a really nice mod that lets you create custom doors. Basically what you do is you set the parameters that you want for the door, the way that it opens. There are a bunch of different options here. How long it takes to open. There's a auto close delay. I don't know what that is for actually, because as far as I know you need redstone to auto close it, so I don't know what this is about. But you can make it require redstone like iron doors, and you can make it be useful as a double door, and there's also a bunch of different sounds. I really like the pneumatic door sound. It's really cool, and I'll show you that here in a second. And then you go over here and you can choose any materials you want for the door frame, the top block and the bottom block of the door. So I'm going to go over here and show you the doors that I made. I went through a couple different kinds, and I ended up with this. It is chiseled glowstone to look green, and then the green glass that I used all over the floor here, and I think it looks pretty cool. When I right click on it, it makes a really cool pneumatic sound, and when I right click again, it closes the door. I used these doors in a new room that I made. I moved all my items inside here, and this is basically the layout for our server room for applied energistics. Yes, I do want to get into applied energistics. I usually don't do that before I have a quarry going, but I have a lot of resources, so I think we'll be able to do that. Do we have? Yes, we have a bunch of charged Certus quartz, a lot of redstone, so I'm going to have to make some fluix crystals. This is basically going to be the main control panels right here, and this is going to be all our ME drives on these 2 sides. This should be enough space to last us quite a while. If I do need more space, I can always raise the roof more. I can move the walls out to make more level layers of ME drives. So let me decide what we want to work on first today. I think we're going to make those 2 new machines, put them over here, the slice and splice and the other machine, the painting machine. The reason I want to make a painting machine is because I don't want to have to right click on these doors all the time, so I'm going to want some kind of pressure plates, but I don't like the way pressure plates look. So what options do we have? If you look up the Ender IO recipes, spell correctly, that would probably help. You will see that there is a pressure plate, I promise, right here. And that is a dark pressure plate. It's only activated by players, and it can be painted in the painting machine. When you paint it with quite clear glass, it's invisible, which is perfect for what I want to do. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a painting machine, which is one of these. We're just going to do painting machine. So that is made like this. We're going to need some electrical steel, we're going to need a machine chassis, some nether quartz, and some diamonds. So the electrical steel is another alloy added by Ender IO, and that is crafted with silicon, coal dust, and iron. Silicon is really easy to make. All you need to do is get some sand, which I think I have some of. Yes, I do have some sand here. Take a piece of sand, throw it in your sag mill, and you're going to want dark steel balls in there because it's not 100% drop rate on these. So I throw a piece of sand in there, I get a silicon. Sometimes I'll get 2, sometimes I'll get 0. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to make a bunch of silicon, And I'm going to need 5 pieces of electrical steel, which means I need 5 silicon, 5 iron, and 5 coal dust, which I still have a bit of. We're going to throw that in here in alloy mode and take this copper out. And that will make us our 5 electrical steel. Now, I did do some work over here for where our big reactor is going to be expanded to. And I also made a bunch of refined iron, a bunch of graphite bars, and I have a ton of yellorium. So what I'm going to do with this is I am going to make a bunch more big reactor casings. I probably don't have enough materials here to really make what I need to really flesh this guy out. Because it is a 7x7. But the hard part is going to be that I need those fuel rods, the reactor rods. And I'm going to need 25 of those, and they take 6 steel a piece. So we're going to need a lot of steel. So I'm going to see how much of this I can get fleshed out while we wait for our... Oh, our electrical steel's done already. Okay, well that was faster than I thought it would be. So we're just going to keep going ahead. I'm going to go back in our little server room here because that's where we have all our resources. I'm going to grab some copper. I'm going to grab a little bit of gold. I'm going to grab some redstone. We're going to need a diamond. One diamond. And we're going to need some quartz. So, as always, we're going to need one of our machine chassis, which is made with one of these. We're going to need some iron, and we're going to need some more of those iron bars. So, do we have any iron bars yet? Yeah, we got a couple. We're going to grab a bunch of iron here. Oh, what's that? A module base from refined relocation. Refined relocation is another one of those mods that I haven't really messed around with much. I know it's really handy for sorting. We're going to get into AE pretty soon, so I don't think we're going to really need it, but I do want to check that out sometime. So we're going to finish up. I always get these recipes wrong. Our machine chassis, that's going to go like this. We're going to take our diamond, stick it on top, and then our 2 nether quartz, and that makes our painting machine. We're going to take our painting machine, and we're going to put it right here. Now, along with the painting machine, we're going to actually need the pressure plates. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pressure plates. Each pressure plate takes 2 material. These pressure plates require dark steel. So 8 pressure plates times 2 is 16, which means we're going to need 16 iron. We're going to need 16 coal dust, which we only have 12, so we're going to need a couple more of those. And we're going to need 16 obsidian, which I think I have some moved over here, yeah. So we're going to make these a couple coal dusts. We actually got an extra one there. It's in alloy mode. Take those, and that will make us 16 dark steel to make our pressure plates. In order to make the pressure plates silent, so that they don't make that annoying clicking sound, we're going to need some wool. We're also going to need some quite clear glass to actually make them invisible. So we're going to take this, we're only going to need 8 quite clear glass. We're going to need 8 pieces of wool. There we go, 16 dark steel. I'm going to take those. I'm not going to mess around in there because I still have that recipe in there. We're going to make 8 dark pressure plates. We are going to paint them in the painting machine. I think we're actually only going to need 1 piece of quite clear glass because I think it won't use it up. So we'll stick those in there. We'll let that run. I could speed this up a little bit. I think I have a capacitor laying around somewhere. I do. Double layer capacitor. Throw that in, and that'll make it go faster. So now we've got our 8 invisible dark steel pressure plates. We're going to combine them with wool to make them silent. And it unpainted them. So we're going to have to paint them again. I knew one of those ways would undo the other. I'll take these 4 for now, just so we can see how it works. I'm going to close the door. I'm going to take our pressure plates. We're going to throw them here and here. It will work just like any other pressure plate. We can walk straight through, just like any other time. We can run through. It won't stop us. So that's really nice. We're going to do the same thing with the other door. I'm going to take these 4, which are silent. There we go. No more having to click on doors. Cool. So let me grab some more of these big reactor casings. Let's see how much more of this reactor we can get done. Alright, so that didn't get us quite as far as I would have liked. So I'm going to need some more steel to finish out these blocks. Plus I'm going to need the reactor control rods. Which means I'm going to need a lot more charcoal dust. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these spruce saplings along with some bones. I do have quite a few bones. We're going to grind up a couple of these bones to make some bone meal. And we're going to go up to the surface. And if you plant a spruce tree in a pattern like this, just 4 right beside each other, and then you hit it with some bone meal, it will make a really big spruce tree. So I'm going to do this a couple times, get a bunch of spruce wood, and get some more steel going. Alright guys, so this induction smelter is what's making our refined iron for us, and that's what we're using to make the reactor casings. As you can see, it's kind of slow. It takes 4 charcoal and a piece of iron to make 1 refined iron, and it takes forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all this stuff out. I'm going to pick this guy up, and we're going to upgrade him. So I'm going to come back over to our items room. I'm going to look up the recipe. Okay, so to upgrade him to a hardened machine, we're going to need 4 Invar and an Electrum gear, so that's pretty easy. We don't even need this room. We have everything on us. That'll make our Electrum gear. Take that, put it on top, put the machine in the middle, 4 Invar in the corners. That'll make us our hardened machine. Now, just being a hardened machine doesn't make it any better. You actually have to put augments in it. So the augment that we are going to want is this one, and it is called secondary reception coil. It increases the speed by 2 and the energy used by 50%, which isn't bad. So in order to make that, we're going to need 4 bronze, redstone reception coil, 2 redstone. Luckily I made some bronze earlier in the series. 4 bronze, redstone reception coil is just a piece of gold and some redstone. Oop, we're stuck in the door. And more redstone. That'll make our secondary reception coil. Bring that over here. We're going to throw it in the induction smelter's augments section. And that'll make it go twice as fast. So stick our iron back in there along with the pulverized coal. And now it's going to go a little bit faster. It's also going to use some more power, but hey, it's worth it. Got some more charcoal going. We'll throw some more wood in here. So in order to do 1 stack of iron, we're going to need 4 stacks of charcoal. We're also going to need a stack of graphite bars, which is also made with charcoal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep macerating or sagging and smelting. I'm going to take a stack of this and make it into graphite, and then we'll make some more machine casings, or more reactor casings. And I'll be right back. Alright, this should be pretty close to what we need to get this thing finished off. So I'm going to start tearing down the old reactor, but first I'm going to go right in here. I'm going to take all our fuel and our cyanide out. We're going to eject any leftover fuel inside, and we're going to start tearing it down. Alright, so we're going to finish fleshing out the bottom here. Hopefully this gave us enough to do that. Looks like it. Oh yeah, we're going to need to take this energy conduit out. Like that. We are going to put our power output here. Yes, here. On the bottom. We're gonna take our extra reactor rod from our old reactor. We're gonna stick it right in here. We're gonna put our item outputs here and here. One of them is for inputting yellorium, the other one is for outputting cyanide. Just like that. We're gonna take our wrench, whack that one so that it's an output. We're then going to need to put the rest of our fuel rods down. Cool, all 25 of them. We gotta get this torch out of here. I don't really need this hole. This hole is for our redstone tap, so we can control it through redstone. Then we're gonna take the rest of this, fill it in with glass. We're gonna put our reactor control block right here in the front. Fill in the rest with reactor glass so we can see inside. And we have a 7x7 big reactor. Now this thing, the way it is right now, will put out about 4,000, a little over 4,000 RF per tick. That is not ideal. What we really want to do is get some kind of coolant inside of this thing. Ideally it would be that frozen stuff, gelocryothium, that's it. We want to put that inside there, but I tend to go for the middle tier and do liquid ender, which is just molten ender pearls. So I'm going to have to kill a bunch more endermen. We might actually get our enderman spawner rolling, because that's going to take quite a few. It's going to take 1 block for each column inside this reactor. It's 5x5 on the interior, so the top would be 25 buckets of liquid ender minus the 5 from the fuel rods would be about 20. So we're going to need 20 buckets of liquid ender. It's 4 ender pearls per bucket, so we're going to need like 80 ender pearls. That's a lot of ender pearls. So we are definitely going to have to get an ender pearl farm going. But in the meantime, I am going to use this the way it is. What happened to our... Oh, we broke one of our capacitor banks. Stick that back right there. I am going to upgrade these capacitor banks as well. Actually, let's do that now. So if you look at different capacitor banks, there are 3 separate tiers of them, plus a creative one. We're going to go for the middle tier now. That's going to take electrical steel, double layer capacitors, and blocks of redstone. You can also take the 2 we have and upgrade them with a double layer capacitor and 4 energetic alloy. We might do that. Let me get some stuff together and we'll be right back to make our upgraded basic capacitor bank. Alright guys, we're going to get these capacitor banks going. We're going to use our old one, which is like this. Hopefully it works while it has power in it. Didn't even think about that. It does, and it saves our old power, so that's cool. So that's a basic capacitor bank. Those have a maximum capacity of 5 million apiece, and they are multi-blocks just like the lower tier ones. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make the other one as well, so we still have 2. I'm going to take those, we're going to put them right back where they were. Kinda. Like that, and like that. Now they should auto-detect where power is coming out of them. Let's see. So this is where power is going in the back. That's an input. This is an output. And this is an output. Just like that. Cool. So I did stick some fuel inside of it as well. It ate a whole stack of yellorium plus most of another one. But it is full now. It holds, looks like 100 buckets. So that's cool. We're going to go ahead and kick on and see how much power we're making. Now keep in mind this is without coolant. So we're already at 3,000, 4,000, 4,300. So it looks like about 4,500 RF per tick, which is not too bad. These will also fill up our jetpack much faster than the old one did. Now this is going to pull out 10,000 RF per tick, which is still a lot more than what we are generating, but that's fine. And it'll quickly fill right back up. So now that we've got our power situation figured out, the next step is to get storage going. So like I said, I'd like to do applied energistics. Let me get some things together and we'll see what we can do with that. So guys, after building that big reactor, you may have noticed something about my resources. I have 28 iron left. So we are not going to do what we were going to do. What we're actually going to do is get the ender quarry set up. It's time to get it set up and rolling. I'm going to have to just store the items in the space that I have and hope it lasts me long enough to get some iron rolling. So let's get that going. The first thing I'm going to need are some ender chests. And ender chests are made something like this, just like that. We're going to need to color these just like we did the tanks. So let's see what colors we have available. Green, of course. And do we have any ink? Yes, we do. Just enough. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to turn it into green dye. No, I'm not, because I don't have my mortar and pestle. I left them upstairs. So I'm going to grab those. I'm going to color these. And I am going to go hunt some endermen. Because in order to get power transferred, we are going to need tesserects. And tesserects require 8 ender pearls a piece to make. Right now, I have 13 ender pearls, which means I'm 3 short. Because I needed to use 2 to make the chest, and we were 1 short to begin with. So I'm going to go kill some endermen and get the green dye on here and be right back. Okay, change of plans again. As you can see, I spent some time doing some more fancy stuff. Got rid of most of the torches, all of them on the top layer, and I just have the ones around the outside and along the bottom now. But plans have changed again. I realized while I was getting ready to get my materials together for a tesseract that I didn't have any shiny ore. Well, actually I had 1, which wasn't enough to get my tesseracts going. So I had to go mining. I went all the way down to the bottom of my mine, tried to find some ferrous and some shiny ore. Didn't find any, so I went to the nether. And I did find some platinum ore there, as well as a whole lot of iron. So I'm not worried about getting the quarry set up right now, because we do have a huge amount of iron again, as you can see. So instead, I'm going to get the tesseracts going, and then we're going to work on applied energistics. So in order to make tesseracts, we are going to need some stuff. We're going to switch this over to alloy mode. We're going to throw some tin, some silver, and most of our shiny ingots in there. I don't really want to throw them all in. Let's start with 4 and see what that makes for us. And this will make an alloy called Enderium base. Now, in order to make Enderium base into Enderium, we are going to need ender pearls And we're also going to need blazing pyrotheum. Blazing pyrotheum is made with redstone, glowstone, coal dust, which apparently I need to make some of, and blaze powder. No, it doesn't take glowstone. It takes sulfur, which is right here. So we're going to go over here to our sag mill, take all this stuff out, throw in some coal to make some coal dust real fast. We're going to take this blaze powder, coal dust, some redstone, and some sulfur, and that will make us some pyrotheum dust. And then you take the pyrotheum, throw it in here with your enderium base along with some ender pearls, and that will start to make enderium. Now we're also going to need, as well as the enderium, we're going to need some liquid ender, or whatever it's called. So we got to take some ender pearls. We're going to throw them in our magma crucible. Enderium takes a really long time to make, so we're going to let that cook up. And we get 2 enderium. Now that's why it takes so long, is because it makes 2 at once. So we're going to need 4 to get our first tesseract going. In order to make a tesseract, we're also going to need diamonds, and we're going to need either hardened glass, which I think we have some of. Yes, we have 3. We need 4. Or you can also use fused quartz. So I have a lot of quartz, so we're going to go that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our quartz, we're going to turn it into blocks. I'm going to need 8 in order to make 2 tesseracts. So we'll throw that in there. We'll also throw the sulfur, redstone, pulverized coal, sand. We don't need this gravel. So now we have 4 enderium. We can take all this stuff out of here because we're going to need to make these quartz, fused quartz blocks. Which takes a little while. I did do some more. I'm trying to come up with some designs to make it so these walls are not quite so flat. I kind of like this. Basically, this is just glass. It looks like right through into the other room. But from down here, it looks pretty cool. So I think I'm going to do that on each wall. I also dug out another room over here, and this is where I think we're going to build our mob spawners. Probably do a hallway down through here and just line the walls with different mob spawners. Oh, I didn't pull the enderium out. So now we're making fused quartz, and we will need 4 per tesseract. So if we go over here to our crafting table, 1 fused quartz there, 4 enderium like this, a diamond in the middle. Might as well get our ender pearls cooking up in the meantime. Oh, we already did that. I may have just wasted some ender pearls. Oh well. So here's our fused quartz, just like that. We'll go ahead and make 2 right away. Well, we are going to need some more enderium. So we will throw this stuff back in here. That will make our last Condirium. In the meantime, we'll take this tesseract frame, we're going to throw it in our fluid transposer, and that'll start filling up. Stick our other diamond in there. We're just waiting for 2 more Enderium. I also want to do some work automating this reactor and again, some other stuff going too. So there, once we have our tesseract frame, all we need to do is go back to our item room. We already have silver. We need some bronze. So we have enough for 1. We're going to need to make some more bronze. And like I said, I always mess these up. Let's see if I can get it right the first time. Yep. So there we have our first tesseract. Now the tesseract, we're probably going to put along this wall here somewhere. Not exactly sure where yet. I would really like to move this barrel so I have another space for a machine. Actually, it might be kind of cool to do the tesseracts like down through here. I don't know. I'll think about where I want to put it. In the meantime, you can see this capacitor bank really holds a lot of power because I don't even have to let this run all the time. But let me get some materials together to get this other tesseract finished, and we'll automate this guy, and then we'll probably call it an episode. And then next time we will get into applied energistics in this room. We'll get our terminals going here, we'll get our servers going here. I need some kind of... The reason I set it up this way is because the way Applied Energistics 2 works is it runs on a channel system. So your wires that run through your system can only hold 8 channels, and a channel is basically an information channel. So things that are connected to it will use a channel, and then you'll need controller blocks that we're probably going to put here temporarily. We'll eventually put them out in the center of the lab. The controller blocks, on each side of a controller block, you can accept 8 channels, and that's what runs your system. So this center section here is going to be just some kind of fancy block, and then I have 8 on each side for the servers. So let me get this stuff together, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so now we have a power monitor. This is the first step in really automating our big reactor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this power monitor. Our redstone port is over there, so I'm going to stick it right here. I'm going to need to have access to back here, so I'm going to have to tear down the walls temporarily. So there's our redstone port. We're going to set this to toggle reactor on or off, set from signal, and commit. So basically what that means is when this has a redstone signal on, the reactor will turn on. When the redstone signal is off, the reactor will turn off. And then what we're going to need to do is take our insulated redstone cable like so. It does not need to be connected to the reactor in all these different places. So we're going to take our wrench and we're just going to disconnect these connections that pop on. Oops. Come on, there we go. And then we are going to, is that over far enough? Yes. I'm going to stick this right there. This is already connected to the power system because the pipes are directly, or the conduits are directly below it. We're going to go under our engine control, select yes. It will emit a signal when storage is less than 75% full. So basically what that means is when our storage is less than 75% full, it will send a redstone signal to the reactor, which will turn the reactor on. It will stop sending when the reactor is 99% full, which means it will stop, it will turn off the redstone and the reactor will turn off because of the way we set it up in the back. So that should mean that our reactor will kick off as soon as this. I wonder if it considers the reactor's internal buffer as part of the store. Oh, there, it turned off. Cool, so it works. Then once we use enough power that this drops down below 75%, it will kick back on. and that way we know we're never losing fuel. Cool. So now that we have that done, I'm going to start getting set up for our applied energistics build. But that's not going to happen until next time. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope to see you again in the next episode. As always, leave a like if you like the episode. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Have a good one.